What's up, Pandis?
You're listening to the Pandesoul podcast.
Join us as we unpack the flavors of being Filipino
and American. We're your hosts, Dre Magix, the fictitious professor, and EJ Villaman.
And we hope you're hungry.
Because there's plenty to go around. What's up, Pandis? Welcome to another episode of the Pandesoul podcast. We're here, the funniest podcast on Kumu. I'm Dre Magix, along with my co-host, Prof, the fictitious professor. I sounded Bisaya for a second.
It's okay. My mom's from Bisaya.
Pepsi Cola. And EJ Villaman. Follow them at FicProf and EJ Villaman. Also myself at the Dre Magix. Also follow Kumu USA. Why? Because I asked you to. Thanks. Drop gifts because gas is crazy right now. But today's episode is, well, we're filming this in June. In a few weeks, it's going to be Father's Day. Father's Day. So let's do a whole episode on Father's Day because why not? Do they celebrate Father's Day in the Philippines?
Walang si father sa PI. Walang si father sa PI.
It's all the like priests.
Yeah.
Mano, happy Father's Day po.
They take an extra collection for the
donation.
pension, the priest pension.
Mga donations.
You are all my children. Hold up. We don't look anything alike.
I'm gonna need a paternity test.
Yeah. You are not the father.
Thank God.
So, do you guys celebrate? Do you guys go hard on Father's Day? Like, not go hard. Do you guys celebrate? Do you guys celebrate Father's Day?
Yeah, we definitely do. It also lands on like kind of like almost the same week as my mom's birthday.
Okay.
Yeah.
It is.
We delay Mother's Day to Father's Day, and we just swap it.
You do the Filipino thing and celebrate the 2-in-1.
Yeah, exactly. It's no one's special.
Yeah.
Mother, Father Day.
Yeah.
Mom's Thursday.
Yeah, Mom's
Mom's
Thursday.
Thursday. Yeah, definitely do it. And it's quite fun. We do whatever my dad wants to do. Garden, mow the lawn.
Have you gardened before with your father?
Oh yeah.
Do you garden with him or
Yeah.
do you watch him?
I guard him.
Garden. It's a basketball?
Yeah.
PBA?
Yeah, we play
So right guard.
So many things.
shooting guard,
Right guard.
Shooting guard, mouth guard. Ano?
right guard. Kasi he's mabaho.
Right guard, right aid, left aid.
But yeah, we normally like as of recent we used to just go on hikes and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So anything active because my dad's retired, right? So we want to get him doing stuff.
Yeah.
Nice.
Like
So you
garden.
make him do stuff he doesn't want to do.
Exactly. Then guess what, Dad? It's your day. It's your turn.
It's your day.
It's your
so that
turn.
means you have to do all this.
You're
how it
taking
works.
us out
That's
today.
funny, dude. What about you, Fake?
It depends. Like my dad, sometimes, like he goes
Didn't
on
you climb
vacation.
a mountain with your dad?
Yeah. So actually, this year he's gonna be in, like Mammoth. So it's like I'm not gonna be with him
Gonna
physically.
be in a mammoth.
Yeah.
Those are extinct.
He got swallowed by
Yeah.
the Black Ranger.
The woolly mammoth.
By the Black Ranger.
All right.
Yeah, it's always like low pressure, or like my dad's always like, yeah, well, or I'm usually gigging on Sundays,
Mm-hmm.
so he's usually just like,
the makeup test.
yeah, he's like, well, you can take me out for lunch at some point during the week, or whatever.
Yeah, it's funny because so whenever we go out for as a family, it's always a 20-minute argument of like, all right, where are we going? Where do you want to eat? And then we would decide, and then we'd be in the car on the way, and my mom goes, "How about this?" And I'm like, "We decided already. Like it's not
late.
up for discussion anymore." So it's kind of like usually where we make them do. We put it on them.
Yeah.
They're like, where do you guys want to go? It's Father's Day. It's your choice.
Yeah.
Right.
Right? And then still, though, my mom's like, well, how about this place? I'm like, it's not your day, Mom.
It's the illusion of choice.
Right. It is the illusion of choice. But it's the illusion that choice is wanted when it's definitely not.
Right.
You know? And my strategy for that now is I just take a place no one wants to go to. Like, oh, family dinner. Where do you guys want? I'm like, let's go to Taco Bell. They're like, huh? And I'm like, you told me to make a choice.
Huh?
That's my
Taco
pick.
Bell?
Hot dog. Hot dog. What's up?
Ketchup.
Dude. Okay, so like there are those names that are short for other things,
Right.
but are never long for other things. You know what I mean? Like I'm gonna name my kid Billiam,
Billiam.
It's a good name.
right? Or Jimothy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jim. Jimothy. Can I call you Jim? Please do.
Yes, please.
Or Timony.
Timony?
Like Timony Cricket.
Nice.
Oh.
Are you seeing those like the
Tedward.
the full names of like celebrities?
Uh-huh.
Like Cardi B's full name is Cardigan Backyardigan.
Yeah.
And then
Wait, it really is?
T-Pain is Tylenol Pain Relief.
Okay.
Oh,
And then
Bow is Boward Woward.
Elon Musk is elongated muskrat.
Oh, that's amazing. So yeah, back to Father's Day, right? When you were a kid, did you used to do all the arts and crafts for Father's Day?
It was weird, right? Like, I don't think we did as a kid. Like, we did
Yeah.
that more for like Mother's Day.
Day, right.
Even at school too.
Yeah,
Like,
that's true.
like it's like thinking about it now, it's like, wow, that is incredibly like, what is the word?
Sexist?
Yes.
No, I just it's not like a sex thing. I think it's dads always get overlooked, man.
That's true.
Right? Because
Yeah.
like if you think about it, every football player in history, not in history, but most football players are like spend hours playing catch with their dads, and they make it to the NFL or the freaking MLB or the NBA, and they're training with their dad, and then finally they win some award, and the first person they thank is like, "I love you, mom." You know what I mean? Like dads get overlooked so much, right? And
Right.
Yeah.
I think, listen, this isn't to discredit women, because women basically do everything in the world that is worth of value, right? Like, they have the kid, but also, it's not a either or thing. It's a this and thing, like what Vic always says, right?
Yeah.
It's a, yeah,
Yes,
they
and,
need some
yeah.
love, right?
Yeah.
So, and I think it sucks that it's because Mother's Day comes before, and you spend all your time and your energy like planning this perfect like Mother's Day
yeah.
breakfast, brunch, outing, and like buying flowers, and you're like, what color tie don't you have? Let me just get that.
Right.
You know, like how many Father's Day ties are sold every year? Like
Right.
millions, right?
I wonder like how many fathers like low key really want to celebrate that, but don't really say anything just because like whatever feeling that they're having.
It seems as selfish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm curious because I definitely want to like celebrate my dad, but I also want to do it every day. But
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, like, yeah, I still want to make the
Like making it special.
Yeah.
Right? Making it an event. I think one time I reversed it that year, where like I took my mom out, and then I cooked lunch for my dad.
Mm.
Like I made him all the like breakfast things.
Oh, nice.
And he was like, "Oh, this is new." I'm like, "Yeah." But then also that year I bought my mom a TV. So he's like, "Oh, I would have taken the TV." I'm like,
Not the
Can't-
Topsy logo.
you can't win. You
Right.
can't win out here.
Yeah.
Yeah. You got Longanisa. She got a Samsung.
Yeah.
Samsung isa.
Yeah. But it's Do you think Filipino dads celebrate Father's Day differently?
Oh man, I don't know. That's like a general, super general question. I don't know.
Yeah, because it's not like a huge cultural thing in
Right.
the Philippines. It's like mostly like an American thing.
Yeah.
And even like other countries that do celebrate like a Mother's Day, Father's Day, it's on different times of the year.
Mhm.
So I remember I was in the UK in the spring. It's like, oh, it's Mother's Day. And I was like, what? It's like nowhere close to like American
Wrong.
Mother's Day.
Yeah.
Incorrect. So your dad's Jewish, right?
Yeah.
What are the similarities that he has with like the Filipino culture?
Well, it's like he
And,
Kinda
like, what
like-
are the differences also? Like what are the outstanding differences?
yeah. I mean, he's basically just kind of like deferred because my stepmom's also Filipino,
Mm.
so it's like also deferred to like Filipino culture and using that. So and he's like mostly like Americanized, so it's like because he grew up in like Eastern Washington, so it's like pretty white American.
Mm.
I mean, the only thing that's different is like we celebrate Jewish holidays, so there's not like significant differences in that sense. Um, but yeah, usually like for Father's Day, we'll just like spend time with him. It's not significantly different than a normal time spending it with him. It's more of like yeah, yeah. Even thinking about like previous Father's Days, there's not much different that we did on Father's Day compared to like Mother's Day.
Mm-hmm.
And then yeah, even thinking about like the kind of crafts. I think I only remember one Father's Day craft that we made in school. And actually, the teacher specifically saved Halloween like sugar daddy candies because it was a little like
Wait, it says sugar daddy? Huh?
yeah, there these candies that says
Yeah.
sugar daddy.
That's a thing?
So
I need to be
the
sponsored.
the Halloween version was like a little like lollipop. So that was the tie for like the card.
Ah.
That was like clever.
That's cool.
It's funny because Father's Day and like being a magician, right? There are always these common symbols in magic culture, right? When you think of magicians, always a white rabbit, top hat, suit, cape, wand, right? I feel like Father's Day is the same where it's just a tie, like
Right.
Any tie, just a tie, you know, and it's kind of. I remember one year, and here's the thing though: dads are usually so grateful they get you they get anything. I remember one year, I think it was like middle school or high school. I gave my dad because my dad plays tennis, and this made no sense. I had no business buying this, but I bought him a ceramic. It was like a ceramic statue, right? But it was of a dragon with a tennis racket. It made no sense, right? It was just a dragon like this.
That's cool. Hey, that's cool.
That's
though.
really
I
cool.
like it.
I don't know, man. That's a
And
really
then
cool kid.
it's funny because in my garage till this day, it's still there.
Oh.
And I'm like, yo, it's broken already, and you kept this? And he's like, yeah, you got it for me. And I'm like, oh, I guess they are like more grateful because they don't usually get a lot of stuff.
Right.
And it's kind of sad that they do get overlooked just because the world thinks giving flowers to someone takes away from someone else. Right? It's not saying Mother's Day isn't as important. It's saying Father's Day is also important.
Yeah.
Right.
You know?
Dude, you don't know how many times like we've given my dad shoes or clothes, right? And he'd be like, "Oh, I've had this for 15 years. You see this? These jeans? I can fit them now because of our hiking." I'm like, damn, Dad. But yeah, he really can fit into those jeans.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, he has
Nice.
a lot of shoes and stuff now that are like, 15, 20 years old.
Yeah.
And I don't know what it's about. Maybe it's the Filipino in him, or maybe it's like I came to America with almost nothing in him. That he keeps all that stuff. But is that like a pride thing that any of your parents have? Like,
I think it's a fear thing. It's a fear of not having it when you need it, right? Because if you think about, I don't know about your personal experiences, but my family knows what poverty is like.
Right.
Right? Even like my mom was poor in the Philippines, but my dad was like, his family was Mayama, dude. Like he had money, but he moved to the States with my mom, and when they got here, they were like super broke.
Right.
So they both know how being broke feels. And I think that's why they keep everything is because, oh, we might need it and we don't want to waste money on a new one.
Right.
Right? Like, once you buy a trash can, it's a trash can till eternity.
Right.
You know what I mean? Once you have a shirt and you can't wear the shirt anymore, it's a dish rag. And then after that, it's a floor rag. And
Right.
then after that, you can still do something with it.
Right.
Right? And I think that's what it is. It's the fear of not having it. But I'm like, do you really need this?
Right.
racket?
Yeah.
A tennis racket? Like, it's broke. I'll get you a new one.
Yeah, it's like I'm also thinking about like how many Filipino homes I've been into that aren't just like scarlet. or like just super cluttered.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or even if it's like clean, there's like one area, or in the garage is just stacked full of boxes just because.
Yeah, I think it's that for sure. What Filipino dad things do you think do you do now? First of all, and what are you gonna do when you actually become a dad?
Dude, all the jokes we make on the
Oh,
podcast.
This whole podcast is a love letter to being a dad.
Yeah.
Even that earlier though. What's up, ketchup?
What's up, ketchup? Do you have any memories of like your dad doing some real dad shit?
So my dad is a really big like dad joker, but he says everything to everyone else in Tagalog, not thinking that like I would understand it. So Dad, you're a very dirty joke teller. And if you don't think I understand it, I do get it.
You think you,
Example.
You think you know.
I don't have any.
you forgot. Example.
I don't have any examples. It just happened in the moment,
Okay.
to be quite honest. But I could just hear him like laughing about it with like all his, his compadres, comadres.
His office mates.
His contemporaries.
And he doesn't know, but I'm like that with my friends too.
No, yeah, we're doing it right now.
Yeah. Even dirtier.
Yeah.
No, but I think I'm still gonna keep that. Like,
Oh, for sure.
like, and I'm gonna send it to my kids too, and have them have like some sort of taboo. Yet they'll know, but they don't think I know. I kind of like that. I think it's kind of fun.
The one like super dad joke that my dad, I remember like super clearly. So my stepmom's house is pretty close to a cemetery, and when I was a kid, I didn't really know what it was. I was like, "Oh, what is that?" And then my dad just kept saying like, "People are dying to get in there." Cause like he would say like cemetery, and for some reason it didn't register what that was. Cause I knew what like a graveyard was, but I didn't know the word cemetery. But he just kept saying like, "People are dying to get in there." Just what is that? It's like people are dying to get in there. And just like, oh my gosh. And then when I finally realized, like it was years later when I realized that's what he was saying and that's what he was referring to. It's like, oh my god.
You're like driving by it. You're like, he's saying that. Oh.
Yeah.
You're like, oh.
Yeah, literally. I was like, oh, that's what he meant.
My dad, and I said this on the stream on Sunday. My dad always makes the in-chick joke. It's called in-chick.
Oh yeah.
Or called Chinese.
Oh.
But I remember when I was a kid, my dad. This is what was really cool. He was really sporadic. So one day he would just be like, "Hey, I'm gonna pick you up early from school." I'm like, "Why?" He's like, "Because I want to." And then we would like go play mini golf or something. And those are the really cool moments of like, oh, because he was there. And because I wasn't supposed to do it, that made it special.
Nice.
Wow. Yeah.
Or he would be like, he wouldn't pack me a lunch or something, and he's like, "No, I got you." And he would like bring me McDonald's for lunch or something, you know. And then he also did this fucking stupid thing, right? Like whenever you'd have like an ice cream or like a popsicle, he would do the like look over there and like take a bite. So he did some really like dad stuff. Right, and it's crazy now because like I'm an adult. I think he still like thinks that I'm like a child, which is cool. Like it's not bad because he doesn't like degrade me or anything like that.
Right.
But he's like, you feel when someone touches you, like he'll put his hand on my shoulder and I'm like, oh, this is how you would touch a kid. Like on the shoulder, like give them encouragement on the shoulder, not like touch a kid bad. That's
right.
Yeah, but sorry to disappoint you. It's not like that. Okay.
Dang it.
But he would like, you know how when you have like younger cousins or like younger nieces or nephews, you say hi, but you put your hand on like top of their head and like mess up their hair or like back of the neck, shoulder, right? He still does that to me. He just has to like reach upward now. 'Cause I'm taller. Yeah. But I think that's a cool kind of relationship we have. Because also I think he identifies with what I have to go through because I'm the firstborn, right? I'm the kuya, but he's also the kuya of like 6.
Right.
So he knows like, oh, this
What it's
is
like.
all this stuff, because it's different. Are you the oldest? Are you guys the oldest?
Yeah, I'm the
Yeah,
oldest.
because we have to like figure it out on our own, unless you have like a distant cousin or something to like show you, right?
Mhm.
But no one tell you how to talk to girls or like freaking how to figure out who you are. Like,
Right.
you got to do that on your own,
Yeah.
and then now you have this knowledge to pass down, right? But
Right.
no one really told you how to do that because that our culture doesn't really do that too much.
Right.
Um,
Yeah, that's true.
yeah. So what are your favorite dad jokes?
I really like this one about this banana that got detention.
I think you told me that.
Yeah, I really like that one.
Okay. Go.
So, why did the banana get detention?
Why?
Because his pants were sagging.
Mm.
Right. Back then in 6th grade, when your pants were sagging,
Do kids still sag their pants? I feel like I haven't seen it
wow, I
in a long
haven't,
time.
I haven't
too
really
tight
looked.
now.
I'm also just not around kids. So
Yeah,
it's
I don't. I like how you looked at me. No.
like, I was like, you work with the
Yeah.
youths,
the youth.
The youths.
the colleges,
College
kids.
youths.
I haven't seen any sagging pants in a long time. I
Like
actually
banana pants?
Banana
Yeah,
pants.
these pants are sagging. And they're like a dull color. Get it? Dull.
Oh.
Yes. I'll be
Yeah.
here for another 2 episodes.
Nice.
Nice.
That was a good feeling.
Mm.
But yeah, those are pretty good dad jokes.
Nice.
Yeah.
What's your
Yeah, my favorite one is so there's this woman who's about to give birth to twins, and the only person that's there is her brother, and so the woman's about to pass out, and then she's like, "Oh, kuya, can you name my children when they're born?" He's like, "Okay, sige, okay." So she like they give her anesthesia, passes out, and then she wakes up in the delivery room, and then she's like, "Oh, kuya, what did you name my kids?" And so he's like, "Oh, so the first one was a girl, so I named her Denise." She's like, "Oh, I like Denise. That's a good name. What about the second one?" The second one was a boy, so I named him the nephew.
Classic.
Oh, that's one thing about dad culture that I think is getting lost. No one tells bar jokes anymore, like the story setup punchline,
Yeah.
right? And this is I don't even know if this holds up, but I remember laughing my butt off when I was like in middle school. So my dad told me this. He told me 2 jokes, and the setup's kind of long, and I don't even think the payoff is worth it. Like, okay, but so there was this 3 guys. It was a 3 guys joke, right? It was just 3 guys. They just got out of jail, right? And so they had to hide. They had to hide in some guy's farm, but they were hungry, so they started eating the fruit, right? And the farmer caught him. He's like, "Hey, you guys are robbing me. I'm gonna blow your head off with this shotgun, right? Unless you go pick a fruit, pick 10 of each fruit, and bring it back here. That's step 1, right?" It's like, okay, so they all went. First guy comes up. He has 10 cherries. It's the easiest one, cherries, right? All right, now stick them up your puet, right? And he's like, boom, 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 boom. He like barely makes it. 10, boom. He's like, all right, you're free to go. Get the hell out of here. Next guy comes up. Apples. Right? It's like, boom, 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 apples, right? It's like, okay, you're. Oh, he hits 9. He hits 9 and he starts laughing, right? And all the apples start falling out. So the guy shoots him, right? And he's they didn't know that he was gonna ask him to put him up his foot, right? And so now he's in heaven with Saint Peter. He's about to get into heaven. He goes, "Dude, you almost made it. You're at 9. Why did you start laughing? All the apples started falling out." He was like, "Oh, the third guy came and he had durian."
That's a good payoff. What are you talking about?
It's a good payoff.
Nice.
But I haven't heard that joke in like 5 years.
Yeah.
That's a good one, yeah.
Yeah, just like bar jokes. Do you guys know any good dad
Yeah.
bar jokes?
I don't think of like
No,
Oh, like
there's one that I like. It's okay. So there's a family of bears. It's like after you know.
I know this one already. It's always set up like this. Go ahead.
So, like I always like to set it up just like long, not super long story,
Yeah.
but just like it's out. Post Goldilocks and the Three Bears, so the family to clear their mind, like, oh, let's just go on vacation. So they come up with the idea of driving up along PCH, take a scenic drive, see the ocean. So Papa Bear's driving. He's going. Baby bear, mama bear talking. It's getting pretty loud. So he's starting to get annoyed. So he's driving. He turns around. He's like, "Can you guys be quiet?" And then like, "Oh, sorry." And then as he turns back, there's a sharp turn, and the car goes off the cliff and into the water. So which one doesn't get wet?
I don't know.
The driver.
Do you know all the add-ons to that one?
Wow.
There's more add-ons?
Yeah.
Yo, you have to download that part.
Yeah, this one, if it happened on Halloween, what month did it take place in?
October.
October. Oh, but who fixes the bus? MacGyver.
Nice.
What
What is the loudest fish? Galanggong. What fish can write? Lafish.
Lapis. What? Oh,
Which book of the Bible is the book of love?
romance.
Romance. What's the official drink of the Bible? Coke. Because there's that book, Habakkuk.
Oh gosh. Wow. These are intellijokes.
What fish is from the moon? Salmon.
Stupid.
That's the most dangerous gang.
Sinigang. You know that one.
Talagang.
Talagang sinigang.
How do you have a party in space?
Oh.
You got a planet.
Diba?
What's it? Yeah. How do you beat up a noodle?
You punch it.
You punch
Pancit.
it.
Nice.
Uy.
Huh?
Ayan.
Your phone.
What did the cockroach do in the bathroom? Eat peace.
There's a bunch of dad jokes I just learned too. Oh, do you know the difference between toilet paper and sandpaper? Gross.
That's a good one.
Oh, it's dude, my mom, she called me. She goes, before you get home, pick up 6 cans of Sprite. We just need 6 cans for this recipe. Pick up 6 cans of Sprite. I messed up. She got mad at me because I picked 7 up.
Oh.
Nice.
But those bar jokes are like my favorite one of my favorite pastimes.
Yeah.
Do you know the magic apple joke?
I think I've heard it before.
The
Is it a bar joke?
Mhm.
Nice. Yeah.
what am I talking about?
Yeah, I think I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. Wait, Father's Day just turned into
Dad jokes.
Dad jokes pod.
And
Father's
just,
jokes.
Jokes.
Father's jokes.
Jokes sa tatay.
You want to hear 2 jokes and a long joke?
Yeah.
Joke. Wow. All right, so Magic Apple, right? So there's this bar called Magic Apples, and this is also only my second favorite bar joke. There's a bar called Magic Apples. Guy walks in. He's like, bartender goes, "What do you have?" He's like, Jack and Coke. He puts an apple on the bar. He's like, what is this? I ordered a drink. He goes, look, this is a magic apple. This apple can taste like any drink you want. You ordered a Jack and Coke. Here's a Jack and Coke. Took a bite. Like, oh, this tastes like Jack. The bartender goes, turn it around. Took a bite. Oh, it tastes like Coke. I told you, Jack and Coke, right? Second guy walks in. First guy is so excited. He's like, hey, this dude can make you an apple that tastes like anything. Order a drink. So I'll have a gin and tonic. Bartender puts an apple on the bar. Take a bite. Oh, it tastes like gin. Turn it around. Oh, it tastes like tonic. Gin and tonic, right? Third guy walks in. Both of the guys are so stoked. He's like, order the bartender can make you an apple that tastes like anything in the world. Just order anything. And he has an apple for it. And you know, third guy's trying to be funny. Right? He's like, you got an apple that tastes like, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like peck. You got an apple that tastes like, right? And the bartender's like, he puts an apple on the bar, right? Like, take a bite. He takes the apple. He goes, this apple tastes like shit. He's like, no, turn it around.
Nice.
There you go. There you go. Write it down.
Write it down.
That's a good one.
All right, this one's clean. Guy walks into a bar. It's like, hey man, I'm really hungry. What do you got? It's like, specials on the board. He goes, what's a banjo sandwich? It's like, order it and find out. You said you're hungry, right? He's like, all right, I'll take a banjo sandwich. The sandwich comes, it's 2 pieces of white toast, sunny side up egg, and like a gang of mayonnaise. It's like, why is it called a banjo sandwich? He goes, take a bite, we'll find out. Ah!
That's a good one.
I love
That's
that joke
gold.
so much.
Oh.
It's visual.
Visual gag.
Visual gag.
Visual
Sexual gneeling. When I get that. I thought of that on the right here. And I've been
Oh my god.
I've been waiting to drop that.
Oh my gosh.
It's one of those I need to take a walk. So funny.
Clip it.
What's up, AJ?
How did you not crash thinking about that?
Because I was singing the song. I was driving. It's like, when I get that feeling, I want sexual gneeling.
The more I think about it, the funnier it just gets. Sexual gneeling.
Sexual gneeling. That's good for us.
That's gotta be one of our characters on our trading cards,
I've been waiting all day to drop that.
bro.
It was worth it. It was worth it.
Congratulations.
Do you think... Here's an interesting point. It's a little more serious now because I can't laugh anymore. Do you think people's relationships are stronger with their own fathers or with their kids? Right? When you were a kid, did your dads tell you stories about their dad?
Yeah, he told us like some stories about mostly just like family stuff and like a couple stories here and there.
Mm-hmm.
But not a lot because my grandfather died like way before I was born, so it's like I never like met him.
Yeah.
So I mean, I like to think that I have a stronger relationship with my dad maybe not necessarily compared with like his relationship with his dad.
Yeah.
Because my dad was the second oldest out of four,
Okay.
and then I'm like the oldest out of two.
Yeah.
So it's a little like, I guess there's like less people, and obviously in that situation. But yeah, my dad mostly tells stories of like his dad arguing with my dad's sister, like my aunt, and just like how they were similar. They're both stubborn, so like would butt heads a lot.
That's interesting because my Lolo wasn't around either on my dad's side because he was in the Philippines. And then he died when I was like 19 or something. But he would always... I remember he came to visit like twice. And I remember like, how do I live up to the stories my dad's telling me about this person? You know what I mean? When I was like 15 when he visited first, or like 13. I remember him sitting on the couch, and I'm just like, what do I even call? Like, I guess we both like wrestling or whatever it is, and so I would like sit, and you know how there's this trope of like Filipino men are stoic, right? I think that was my Lolo the first time I met him, because I remember sitting next to him on the couch, and like me just wanting to say something, right, and then. He was like plucking his beard, like he had like tweezers, and he was just like plucking hairs off his face. I don't know, but he was watching TV, and I just remember like he had to leave, and he did this move. He went, and like just got up
on me.
Yeah, and I'm like, we sat here for 20 minutes, and you didn't say anything to me, and like which is like, oh, that trope is true,
right?
Like. They're reserving actually speaking when they need to.
Right.
And it's like very strong silent type. And that was my first experience with my Lolo on my dad's side. And then, later when I started to become who I wasn't afraid to talk to anybody.
Right.
So, I think in high school you start to bloom and talk to your friends' parents. And now, at this point, elder or same age, you can talk to whoever, right?
Yeah.
So the next time I Lolo visit, I'm like, I have to get to know this person because time is limited. Right. Number one, he's old. Number two, he doesn't live in this country.
Right.
So the next time I like made sure to, talk to him and stuff, and he had like some really weird habits. Like he would eat pandesoul, right? But he would only use a knife. So he would cut open the pandesoul and he would toast it. He would put butter on the bread. And this is a steak knife, bro. And he would cut the pandesoul and then he would stab it and feed himself with the knife. And in my head, I'm like, oh, what?
Just like the war.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right?
It's Japanese time.
Right,
yeah.
But that's such a... I didn't feel like I could have lived up to the stories my dad told about his father, right? Because I'm really into stories, and to me, those are damn well legends,
right?
And it's just like, oh, your Lola used to bring me to this restaurant every week after church, right? And it's, oh, this person means a lot to someone I care about, and I want to, and also like now that I'm an adult, and a couple of years ago, I'm like, I shouldn't be comparing myself to anyone, right? But when I was a kid, that was this like pantheon of heroes that I had to live up to. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah. Did you guys ever face something like that, or was that? Did you know your Lolo?
Yeah. So, my Lolo on my dad's side, pretty much raised me ever since I was born until he left back to the Philippines at 96, so I was probably like 5-6 years old. And then my mom's Lolo kind of took over and lived with us too, and raised me and my sister. So that was pretty cool. And like my dad would call my mom's dad Tatay still. It's nice. It's nice how like everyone calls it. But I mean, I didn't really have any like heroic tropes for my Lolo on my dad's side, I just remember a lot of like conversations of, oh yeah, we used to have this truck that he would let me drive, and this big international harvester truck that we drive from town to town, hauling lumber, and I was like 14 years old, and I was driving, and he would be doing this and that.
It's
and
funny. My Lolo worked
like,
in lumber
what?
also.
Yeah, right. So like my dad's family kind of came from some money. Like he had a business. He was like a little bit of the mayor for his town.
A little bit of a mayor.
Yeah, sometimes
There's only one mayor per town.
Just a little bit.
He was a mayor.
Yeah, he was the little bit mayor.
Assistant to the mayor.
Assistant to the mayor of the branch. But yeah, like anytime like I talk to him as a kid, I'm just showing toys, but also the stoic thing and what you said about like the and like standing like this and I've
He used you as a
yeah.
as a lever.
Yeah, I felt that in many ways, but I felt that in like a meaningful way too, because it reminded me of both my Lolos and what they used to do. My mom's Lolo is still alive, thank goodness. So anytime we FaceTime with them, we like just talk, and I just really try to talk to him because he's getting old. But like every time we talk with him or try to talk to him, he like tears up because like he's so like he's getting old. He wants to see his pamangkins, and like hearing the stories of what my mom said about my Lolo and like what he used to do there in the Philippines, what he used to do here before he moved back. Like he became a citizen, naturalized citizen here, and then moved back over there just to be more with the family. But like I feel like the dads, it's crazy. Like my dad was probably able to take the good and the bad from what he learned with his relationship, right?
Yeah.
And change whatever he wanted to change to try to do that to me, and then for me and to my next, if I'm gonna become a dad or whatever, like I'll find out the good things and like the things that I can improve and that I want to share with my family. And I think that's the beauty of it, like we're able to take what we liked and then learn from what we wish didn't happen, or like and just change it. I mean, our kids are probably gonna be doing the same thing too. Like I didn't like how Kuya or how dad would tell this joke or tell that, or let me not do this, or let me be way too like let me try different things. Like I wanted to try different things, but I just never got a chance to. And then, like I want my kid to do whatever they want.
Right.
So like
with the luxury of being able to make mistakes.
Yeah, exactly.
The permission to make mistakes.
Yeah.
Right.
That's real.
Yeah.
What about you, Vic? What kind of wrapping up this conversation on like being a father, and like what are give me like two big things you want to make, like if ever, I don't even know if you want kids, but if ever like you have children,
right.
What are two things you're going to make a point to do or allow them to, you know what I mean? Or like lessons to teach? What are the two major things?
I think like my dad was pretty good at teaching like practical life lessons in a way with like understanding when I was ready to learn certain things. So it's like, once I started becoming more like gigging more and being more like professional, like as a musician, giving me like financial advice on like how to structure a business and like as a freelancer, stuff like that. So I think maybe making sure and then he was also like really good at just making sure that like when my brother and I were kids, like we were still kids. Didn't force us to like grow up too quickly.
Yeah.
So I think that would be a good thing. It's like, let my kids be kids when they're kids.
Dude, so many parents try and fill the holes in their own lives through their kids.
Oh yeah, the vicariously living through your kids.
Like, especially in sports, dude.
Because
I teach martial arts, and I always see like it's usually dads that are like, I want them to train, but then it's the students that like have those dads. They're coming to me and they're like,
right,
and I'm like, look, it's not for like take a break, like chill
right,
out, So
yeah,
that's so wild to me. I see that like I used to see that on the daily, bro, and my heart breaks every time because it's like
right.
You don't want a child. You want a clone.
Right.
You know what I mean? You want a second chance. Like your
Yeah.
child is not your second chance.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think the other thing I would also emphasize in future kids is for them to stick with one thing long enough so that they can see an improvement arc. Because that was actually one thing that like if I didn't choose to be a musician, that was something I like observed, like playing piano for so long, and then seeing like an actual improvement over time.
But
I think that's the biggest
also,
benefit.
If you want that, because I'm just applying it to like my own perspective. If you want something like that, you would have to be so intuitive and notice a natural aptitude for something in your kid, right? Because you don't want to. If your kid has no rhythm, you're not gonna take him to dance classes. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
So you would have to just, he's pretty social, you know? Let's take him into that kind of field that works. You know what I mean? Or like, so because you're basically saying you want them to stick with something, so you're gonna encourage them to basically not quit.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, and interestingly,
yeah, it's just like a weird line.
Yeah, because it's like my mom didn't let me quit piano lessons, but my dad was more just kind of like supportive in whatever I wanted to do.
Yeah.
And it was like, when I was a kid, I always wanted to do, because we lived really close to like a little league field, so I wanted to play baseball.
Yeah.
But then my mom was always like, it's too hot. And I'm like, you're from the Philippines. It's hot there all the time.
Yeah.
Like, what's...
It's because you had a beard when you were little.
Right. Just too old.
Yeah.
But then when I was in, I like went to a small high school, so then I could play on the baseball team without having any prior experience baseball. So then like I learned through that. And then playing football in like junior high and like a little bit of high school. My dad was like supportive in kind of anything I wanted to do, really.
Yeah.
So that like support and encouragement too.
Oh. What about you, EJ?
What I'd like to give back to like,
what are the two like mainstay lessons or pillars of like values or ethics or morals that you are going to make a point to instill in like a future kid? You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think one is like to really have an open mind with anything. Because a little bit of like what you said, to bang off a little bit what you said, I definitely want like my kid to try things that they're really good at, and then also try things that they're really uncomfortable with, and then see where their boundaries are too. And just like the I don't want you to quit thing, like, yeah, I don't want you to quit. I want you to try something, like if you get uncomfortable, let's see how far you can get before you get uncomfortable again, and then we'll find out, okay, maybe it's not for you.
Whoa,
that's kind of
heavy. That's good though.
But yeah, I think that like
that's hella important.
Because the first thing is usually an emotional response, and then the second one may be the logical or another emotional response.
It might be like fatigue.
Yeah, it might be.
That's true.
But I don't know if this is like applicable, but that's how I kind of watch a lot of my Netflix or TV series. Like I can't just watch one episode and be like, that's not for me. Like you have to go like 1 through 3 or 1 through 2, you know, just to figure out.
Everyone gets a second chance.
Yeah.
Right.
So like I feel like that can apply to, you know, life's values and stuff. And like when you're learning how to be uncomfortable, then you also learn how to deal with being uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Right.
Because that's really important. You're gonna be put into a lot of uncomfortable situations, whether you want to be or not. And then I think another value is like, I guess it has to go back with family and respect, but like not necessarily like respect your family. Well, no, you always should respect your family, but like
honor thy mother and father. Thou shalt not kill.
But like I'm trying to find like the right answer for this, but like you know how like there's always that toxic stuff with the families and stuff, right?
Yeah.
Oh
all
yeah.
that stuff, right?
Yeah, it's like. Yeah. Yes, respect family, but if they're like toxic and not healthy,
know the difference between.
Yeah, right. And I want them to, and I guess that also kind of goes with like your value of being uncomfortable and how to deal with being uncomfortable. But also like yeah, you have know what respect is, and like if someone's not respecting you, like there's no wrongdoing in calling it out.
Yeah.
Like like I definitely there's like a line I don't know where it is yet because obviously I'm not a dad.
Oh, you're dead.
Yeah, but like
Exactly.
exactly right. But like I definitely want them to know like when to start calling things out and you know
When is it okay?
yeah
Yeah.
because I don't like if anyone's calling anything out on my family side like I'm not gonna I'm too old for that BS like I will call that out right away like that's not right.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't care what you say like I'll listen to what you say and then I'd be like I've been listening to what you've been saying for the past 35 years or whatever
Yeah.
like and it's still wrong so I'm gonna call you out on it now
For sure.
regardless of whatever you said.
Word. Cool. I think that is
Yeah, super deep.
the wrap on this
Yeah.
episode.
O sige na, Pandis.
Thanks for joining us for this week's episode of pandesoul.
And check out previous episodes on Spotify and YouTube. We also go live here on Kumu every Thursday at 8:30 p.m. PDT and Fridays at 11:30 a.m. Philippines time.
Thanks for laughing and join us next week because there's enough pandesoul to go around.
And don't forget your baon!